Dear friends, grace and peace to you from God and the Lord Jesus. Amen. The Canon of Lutheran, the magazine of the church, asks the question on its cover, Christmas, what's it to you? Memories, family, gifts, traditions, nostalgia, hope, faith, and worship. What does Christmas mean to you? Let's begin with memories. One of my fondest memories is the first Christmas Eve service that I presided at as a newly ordained pastor, called to 3 churches in rural Montana. I served these 3 small churches, which lay close to the Saskatchewan border. We held the service in the barn of one of our church members. We were crowded in. We were sitting on hay bales. Sheep and cows were in their stalls. Now, you would think they would have made a lot of noise around all those people there. But as is apropos on Christmas Eve, they were as quiet as a church mouse. Now, make no mistake, there was no heat. And the temperature hovered at 40 below. This while I played Silent Night on my guitar. I'll be honest, my hands still feel chilled to the bone to this day. But it felt like Christmas. It felt like Christmas even though my family was at least 1,000 miles away. It felt like Christmas because I was with my new church family, and the focus wasn't on anything else. The focus was on worship in the newborn Prince of Peace, evoking the imagery of that very first Christmas. The manger, the cattle with sheep. Family. This is one we often go to when we think of Christmas. Memories are evoked for us of a time when families gathered around and all seemed well during the Christmas season, where it was easy to get to your family because they didn't live that far, and there were no concerns about ice storms or snowstorms. Family. The kind where you'd have that portrait of Norman Rockwell or Currier and Ives in your head. That picture-perfect holiday which comes to mind. A winter wonderland brought to fruition on December 25th. But if we go back in our memories, family, when it comes to Christmas, is not exactly perfect. We don't all get along quite as well as we would like to. Things don't always go quite right for either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Look at tonight. This year, many families, as I mentioned before, some of our own church members are still without power and heat. This is not the kind of family gathering they were envisioning. Some family members are still estranged. Maybe your family, but certainly families around the world. Even at this time of year, families are not always as close as we would like them to be. It happens because of wrongs committed, stubborn refusals for repentance, and a lack then to follow through with forgiveness. Family, sometimes it is difficult around Christmas. As I mentioned before, like my neighbors. Not only did they recently lose a family member in the last day, but on top of that, they lost another beloved family member last year right at this time. As I said, some of our church members have family who are seriously ill and life support in the hospital. Some who face difficult days ahead. It's hard for some families to really focus on gathering as families when they face that during Christmas. And yet, despite all of that, we are the family that gives them hope. We are the family who helps anyone, whether they're having an easy and wonderful and glorious Christmas or a difficult Christmas. Because here, young family. We are a faith family known as church family. And we've gathered here tonight not about everything else that we're about to go out and do afterwards, but to start tonight as a faith family, to gather with prayers and support and love for one another. A true family gathering for Christmas. You see, we come here to love because of Christmas. We shared the love, the same love that was found on that first Christmas Eve. So as a family of faith, we celebrate the family that gathered that first Christmas. Mary, Joseph, and Jesus, the shepherds, and then eventually the arrival of the Magi, also called the wise men. That for us is family. I know you've been waiting for it. Now it's the gifts. Maybe you're thinking about the new Xbox One or whatever gift it is. We're reminded this time of year, in fact, we're reminded basically right after Thanksgiving of the secular, cultural, commercial side of Christmas. And we're all aware of it each year. It's driven by advertisements, and they're trying to do their best to capture the memory of Christmas past when we were children, as well as Christmas for our children right now, by capitalizing on toys and the desires of childhood wishes that everybody will get a gift. And not just any gift, the best gift. Not that ugly Christmas sweater. Not those terrible socks. You know, the good gifts. The great games. The great and perfect gift. But we focus a little differently. You see, for Christians, we hearken back to the reason why we even have gifts that we exchange. The giving and receiving of gifts has morphed past the example that we still hold dear. The example of the Magi, who brought birthday gifts to the baby Jesus, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Or the beloved saint of the church, Saint Nicholas, from centuries ago, who gave so generously. The rest of the world will be caught up strictly in those kinds of gifts. But first, before we get to those kinds of gifts, we come here to remember the gift of Christmas, without which there would be no sharing of gifts. We come here to celebrate the true reason for Christmas, the church's reason, the birth of the child, he who is the first gift of Christmas. The promise that we heard in Advent, that a child shall lead them, even save them, quote, from their sins, and then save the world from itself. Tonight we celebrate the true gift of Christmas, captured now and again through the least likely, the children. Tonight and tomorrow in San Jose, a young girl will read to the elderly as she does each week, because she understands the joy of reading. That is her gift. She will share that gift to those in need throughout the whole Christmas season. Another young girl gives birthday presents to other kids throughout the year, to kids who otherwise would have absolutely no gifts. And on her birthday, she receives no birthday gifts of her own. If anybody does give her a gift, she immediately goes out and shares them with the child that has nothing. That's the Christmas spirit of gift giving, to be emulated by all of us, all throughout the year. Well, we find ourselves focused on a child tonight. The tradition of the church is actually a little sparse about this gift. Out of the four Gospels, only Luke and Matthew give us an actual birthday story. The day that we refer to as Christmas. In the New Testament church, it was just a given that all received the only great gift, Christ the Lord. And now we turn to those traditions that people hold so dear this time. You may have already begun some tonight. You'll certainly do so after worship and on Christmas Day. Traditions of when do you open your gifts? What will you be eating? Who goes first? Who goes last with those gifts? All those different traditions that we have. Well, the traditions of Christmas that we find both in our culture as well as in the church, what we refer to each year, actually grew throughout the centuries. They weren't in place in the beginning. It wasn't until AD 353, when Pope Julius I authorized December 25th to be celebrated as the birthday of Jesus, that the Western Church began to use this date. Before then, throughout the Western and Eastern Church, Christmas was celebrated on a variety of days during the year. To this day, while the Western Church celebrates Christmas for us in the morning, it is a different day than what the Eastern and Orthodox churches celebrate. They will still be waiting for Christmas Day. And as far as for the society, it wasn't until 529 AD that Emperor Justinian declared Christmas a civic holiday. What so many people observe today. You see, things were different back in Jesus' time. In the first century of the Christian church, the birth of the Christ child wasn't celebrated. Not at all. You see, the main focus was on Easter. And many years ago, the Puritans down in America thought that they were ruining Christmas with all the rituals. They objected to the fact that this holiday usually came on a weekday. Therefore, they said it would distract people from the Sabbath, the Lord's Day, Sunday. They did more than annually complain about it, as we often do with all the hoopla and all of the things that go on for the last few months. They actually banned Christmas. They took action, they got rid of Christmas altogether. In Puritan settlements across 17th century America, a law was passed outlawing the celebration of Christmas. This is among Christians and non-Christians alike. The marketplace was ordered to stay open for business as though it were no special occasion, and all violators were prosecuted. And it was against the law to make plum pudding on December 25th. This tradition did not last. All traditions are not meant to be kept. But the tradition that grew to celebrate Christ's birth is kept today. Because here in the church, we focus on it first before we get into all of our traditions in our homes, amongst family and friends. Now we come to nostalgia and hope. One of my old Luther seminary teachers, Professor Fred Geiser, said this about Christmas. Christmas promises peace and joy and love and nostalgia and hope and wonder, but Christmas brings God to earth in human form, Emmanuel, which will change everything we thought about God and challenge everything we thought about ourselves. He used to ask the question, do we want our inner thoughts revealed for Christmas? Only if we want them cleansed, but that's a hard thing this time of year. Do we want a God in diapers? Only if we're prepared to see him go to the cross. For that too is Emmanuel. Jesus is God with us, bringing both the wonder and the worry of that reality. Christ is in God. So when Christ comes to us, God is so close we can touch and taste. So real that we can experience forgiveness and we can be made new. God is in Christ so close we cannot escape scrutiny. So real we cannot escape the world's suffering. Jesus is indeed God with us, and every day we are amazed. That is both nostalgia and hope. Because without the hope of the Christmas message, tonight and tomorrow is just a fun day. Just a holiday. Just a good time. But without this, there is no meaning. And we find meaning in our faith and our worship tonight. As I preface, many people have already begun their celebrations. But for us, the season of Advent has meaning. We wait. We wait until tonight. Then we gather. And then, after we gather, we do all those other things for Christmas. For us, before our biological families, before our friends, before the gifts, before the feast, our faith brings us here to worship. We believe in Christmas, the real Christmas. That is the gift of God, which remains with us from the birth of the Messiah to the Christ of the cross and all the way to Easter morning. We've been preparing for Christmas Eve and day since the beginning of the church season of Advent, and so now we're ready. With readings from the Bible, both Old and New Testament, with songs in our hearts and our lips, we prepare the way of the Lord in hearts and souls. Tonight, once again, as we've heard the Christmas story, now we're ready. Now we're ready to celebrate the reason why there is a Christmas for you, for me, for anyone. It doesn't matter why you thought you came here tonight. You've come here, knowingly or unknowingly, to behold him, to hear the echo of the angels in our songs about this one who is born, as Mary to ponder the true meaning of Christmas in your heart and in your soul, and to humbly worship as the shepherds did so long ago. And then, you are free to go tell it everywhere and share the good news of Christmas. That's what Christmas is all about. And that is what Christmas is. Merry Christmas and Amen. Please stand as we sing our song number 301.